Hi guys, Alex Hutchings here, and today we're at the famous Real World Studios, and we're doing a session here, and I'd like to show you some warm-up techniques using the TU-88. I'm going to show you how to keep in tune and to do some great exercises. We've got some backing tracks downloadable from the website I'll be playing over, and you can jam along too. So let's get down to it. So allow me to show you exactly what the TU-88 is. Firstly, it's an accurate tuner, it's a comprehensive metronome, and it also has a great preamp, headphone preamp. Over here we have the guitar input and a mix-in, so you can plug your computer into it, playing along with contents from the internet, or your MP3 player to play along with backing tracks, for example. So all in all, it's a great unit. I'm going to show you how to firstly get in tune and practice along with the metronome. There are two ways to get in tune with the TU-88, with its built-in microphone or via the guitar input. Let's start with the microphone, which allows you to tune up acoustic instruments such as acoustic guitar, brass or woodwind instruments also. Here we go. Now, the sound you hear is called the acupitch function, which is extra confirmation that you're fully in tune. So as the needle arrives at 0, you hear that sound. And secondly, via the guitar input. Also, if necessary, the TU-88 can change the hertz from the traditional 440 down to 435 or up to 446. Now this is handy if you should be tuning to an old piano that's slightly flat or old recordings, so that's a great feature also. Now for the fun part. In all my years of playing and teaching experience, I find that the most fundamental thing in order to be a confident sounding musician is that you can keep in time and have a good solid sense of time. Some people say the inner clock, or a good time feel, and it's essential that you practice with a metronome to get this. There's no other way, I believe, of achieving this. And once you have this good sense of time feel, that means you can go out and play with the guys in the band and so on and so forth and feel really comfortable with it. So I'm going to show you a few things along with the backing track, also how you can sync the TU-88 using the tap tempo function, and some cool exercises to practice along with those. So here we go. To access the metronome, simply hit Metro, and we're now in the metronome mode. Just to explain the numbers here, the 0 is the rhythm style. More about that in a moment. The number next to it is the amount of beats. So in this case we have 4, and over this side we have the BPM. Now, as I said earlier, we can connect via the mix-in, a laptop computer for example, or an MP3 player, and using the tap tempo function we can easily ascertain the tempo and sync to the track. So allow me to show you that. Okay, so now via the tap tempo we found the tempo of this track, which is 120. For this final section I'm going to show you some ideas that I used over the beginning intro piece. Incidentally, the track is downloadable for free from the Roland website, so go and check that out so you can use these exercises yourself. Okay, so using the tap tempo, I've now found the tempo of the backing track, which is 94 BPM. Now what I'm going to do is show you the first scale for you to practice over this. I'm going to play it at 94, but we can slow it down, of course, because that's what we can do with the metronome. So firstly, I'm going to give you the first scale to practice, and it's a G minor pentatonic with a flat 5 also, and this is what it sounds like. I'm sure most of you can manage that. I'm just going to show you one more scale that works with this intro piece, and this is the E minor shape with a flat 5. But depending on how your theory knowledge is, you'll know that this actually translates to the G major pentatonic. But to talk in a broader form, we'll use the E minor association. So here we go. Okay, so those two scales you can use over the backing track, which sound great. Mix them up and experiment with them. If you know the other positions, of course, practice them also position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth, of each, the G minor shape and the E minor shape. And that'll give you some great material to use over the backing track. For the next rhythm style, we're going to go select, press the arrow up, and we now have quaver beats. I thought it would be a nice idea to mix the two scales we learnt at the beginning and to practice them changing between the two, like this. Just practice going between the two. Now it's really important to practice other groupings of notes, and style 3, rhythm style 3, is a triplet feel, so let's hear that. So we can play the same two scales with the triplet feel, and this time let's do it with the backing track. Now for the final rhythm style on this particular piece, this is a really interesting feature, and it's one of my favourites that I've discovered on the TU-88, and I can imagine myself practicing with this for a long time to come. And it's something that a lot of people don't realise, but it's practicing the swing feel over something that feels quite straight. So this tune is quite straight, but what we need to do is double up the tempo, so we can do that via the tap tempo, and practice our sort of swing feel, and you'll see what I mean when we get to the backing track. Here we go.